I know in each of our lives and in many of our scriptures lately, we've talked about faith, love, charity. So this lesson is titled, A Failure of Faith, Love, and Charity. God looks at the earth and weeps. Each generation repeats the same folly, preparing endlessly for human wars, preparing endlessly for killing another kingdom's people, killing so that it can start again. Men's supposed leadership. And these misogynistic, pusillanimous pettifoggers who are peck-sniffing on TV and radio every week for funds, so as to bring you closer to God. No, for to bring you each lying SOSers closer to the top 100 richest people in the world. Joel Osteen has now broken into the top 115, a true measure of his thievery and immorality. I hate spell check. The only way Osteen, Graham, and all of the others accumulate these ill-gotten gains, these funds only used to allow the so poorly acclaimed faith leader to live in luxury beyond the means or interest of any other truly wealthy. They don't approve of the flaunting of the immoral wealth, while still asking for it with the back of the head. Neither a gazumper nor a gazunderer be. I got a lot of new words for you here. The old wealth, said and written with my tongue so deeply embedded in my cheek that it is amazing that my cheek is still on the same continent as my body. Like that of the Kardashians, prefer to not flaunt their wealth, but just have pullulating fans watching them, doing nothing on their show about them doing nothing, for which they get paid astronomical amounts of money. This show alone is evidence of the problem in this country, where a group of truly insipid and stupid people have a film crew following them to show that you need not be able to spell your own name or say the alphabet without errors to be wealthy. And you can pass the genes of low intelligence to all your children, cautioning them against being or acting too smart, or else no one likes smart people. No one is friends with anyone that is smart. Look at us. And when Khloe Kardashian said this, and her sisters agreed, they were not meaning to say it as a joke or as an apocryphal statement. Never does Jesus see a person doing loving things endlessly. Never does the Savior see a people preparing endlessly for the coming of his Son by doing things to improve the condition of others. Never does anyone prepare endlessly to improve the health, the education, the ability to walk, talk, hear, eat, breathe of any group of poor people. The wealthiest 21 individuals in these United States, giving one time of their income in the same proportion of the lowest, 43%, do 21%, would fund all of the education budget shortfalls across the country. At the time of this writing, in 2020, that was $17 billion. And fund for 15 years at 100% every existing food shelf, $11 billion. Now I'll say it in the right British way. The shortfalls on the education budget are 17,000 million. The food shelf shortages are 11,000 million. And finally, fund the missing because Congress stole it, Social Security Trust Fund and Medicare shortage of $2.95 thousand million. The estimated one-time donation from these people, from 21 people, not families, not family foundations, not trusts, 21 individual people would donate $27.4 thousand million. And that was in 2020. They all got richer during Corona. That number at the end of 2021 will be $41,000 million. They nearly doubled it. They've all hold these funds, mostly abroad, but some are in the US, on which they pay zero taxes due to the many advantageous laws benefiting only that one person. Or those in rich churches in Houston, Texas, namely Joel Osteen, and 11 other locations that do nothing but turn away the homeless, the hungry, the naked, the thirsty, those needing medical care, but each have annual incomes in excess of $2,000 million tax-free. And the majority, over 70%, are used personally by only the leader, and no more than 4% total of all income has ever, for the entire lifetime of this charge, have been used for any documented charitable cause. Imagine what those funds could do if taxed at the existing rate, 30%, plus penalties for falsely claiming exemption, 15% every year, plus 10% for late payment. God looks at the earth and weeps. And yet, you all still inquire about the wealthiest, and the camel still cannot make it through the needle. When pastors of every Christian faith post messages or commentaries online expressing their disbelief that, quote, the poor are truly as poor as they attest, one daring to go so far as to challenge me publicly. You can't possibly be so poor as you say, he writes. And I asked, why do you say that? He said, you speak too well. I said, oh, I see. It was my very public reply on his Facebook page, open to all of his congregation and all of his slimy, low-down, no-good followers. So you are outright saying that all poor people, and by default, all disabled people, for that is what I am, an adult disabled, an adult blind, for to receive the very specialized benefits for my spine never will be covered by private insurance, and to receive the greatly limited rehab and physical therapy access, I agreed to live 30% below the federal poverty line. But because I'm stupid, I did this, you say. You say that the poor and the disabled are stupid. That is why they are poor. And because I am intelligent, because I have more college degrees than you have teeth, that is why I could not possibly be so poor as I say. Gosh, I would love to hear you say that on the air. I would love to hear you say that from the pulpit. He's blocked me. The coinsurance, a legal term of art. It's very different from a copayment, as a copay may never be more than 1% of the billing, whereas a coinsurance will always be a percentage of the insured's annual income. You like them goodies? In 1 year, my coinsurance would have exceeded my annual income 5 times over, plus the cost of the premiums, plus the costs of the copayments, and all other costs, that in that first year, my expenses for diagnoses of degenerative disease, spinal injury, 9 levels, spinal arthritis, 12 levels, degenerative eye NOS, non-specific, loss of vision, 75% plus, NOS, non-specific. Those diagnoses for 1 year alone would have been a minimum of $22,000. But I only made $7,000 in the whole year, for 3 years. I had to do that in order to qualify for the Social Security and Medicare programs. Before the first accident, I was at $57,000 plus bonuses. I now have federal assistance to meet my grocery bill. And he wants to say that I get federal assistance because I'm stupid. I could walk up his backside and down his front, and he would never know what happened to him. Once I couldn't walk, sit, stand without tears streaming down my face. I did all the work I could on the phone and finished 2 degrees while lying in bed because I couldn't sit to do work. I couldn't stand. And I was in traction for 22 hours a day. Oh, but one other side benefit of being poor and disabled. When you're disabled and you prove that you're disabled, they write off all previous unpaid student loans. But the trick is they don't tell you that when you put your loans in a stasis period due to the disability, they are not supposed to be charging interest. They do. I had them write off just under $300,000. $197,500 was interest. Have a safe and blessed day. Peace to all who come.